Hello everyone. Today our topic is valence electrons and chemical activity of atom. Now what is valence shell? From our previous discussion we know that the protons and neutrons that reside at the center of an atom, that is called nucleus, and the electrons rotate surrounding the nucleus along different circular paths. Those are called orbits or shells. Depending on the number of electrons for different atoms, there will be different orbits for different atoms. So the outermost orbit of an atom, that is called valence shell or valence orbit. And valence electrons, the electrons reside at the valence shell, those are called valence electrons. These valence electrons are very much important because only these valence electrons can take part in a chemical reaction. For example, if we consider nitrogen, this is nitrogen molecule and this is nitrogen atom. If we consider one nitrogen atom, then this is the atomic number, that is the atomic number of nitrogen is 7 and this is the mass number of nitrogen, that is 14. That means there are 7 protons, 7 electrons and 14 minus 7, that is 7 neutrons. So for nitrogen there are 7 proton, 7 electrons and 7 neutrons, that is mass number minus atomic number, we get number of neutrons. Now from the 7 electrons, these electrons can be distributed in two shell. One is in K shell, that is the first shell, there are 2 electrons, and in the second shell, that is L shell, there will be 5 electrons. As there are, so these, as here this L shell is the outermost orbit, so this is called valence shell for nitrogen. So L shell is the valence shell for nitrogen and this valence shell contains here 5 electrons. So these 5 electrons are called valence electrons. Now if we consider hydrogen, this is the hydrogen atom and atomic number is 1 and mass number is 1. So number of proton for hydrogen is 1, number of electron is 1 and number of neutron is 0. So here proton number is 1, electron number is 1 and neutron number is 1 minus 1, that is 0. And this 1 electron that is present at the K shell. As we know, K shell can accommodate maximum 2 electrons. So the first electron present at the K shell. So for hydrogen, the outermost orbit, that is the K shell or K orbit, and the valence orbit is the K orbit and the valence electron is here this electron, this is the valence electron for hydrogen. And for helium, as their atomic number is 2, so there are 2 electrons for helium. These 2 electrons will remain at the K shell. So for helium also the outermost orbit or valence shell is K shell and the valence electrons are here 2 electrons for helium. Now what is octet rule and what is duplet rule? There are most of the elements which are reactive, that is for most of the elements atom has tendency to combine with other atom of the same element or of the different element. This is due to the fact that is for nitrogen atom. This nitrogen atom cannot exist as a single atom. Nitrogen atom cannot exist at single atom. Nitrogen atom or nitrogen is always present as nitrogen molecule, that is in N2 form. This is always present in N2 form, that is two nitrogen atoms combine to give the nitrogen molecule. Because there are 5 electrons at the valence shell, and these 5 electrons at the valence shell, this electronic configuration is unstable configuration. So they have always tendency to satisfy the stable electronic configuration. That is, from here comes the octet rule. Octet rule is atoms have always tendency to attain the 8 electrons in their valence shell, and this is the stable electronic configuration for atoms. Atoms have tendency to attain 8 electronic configuration in the valence shell, that is 8 electrons present in the valence shell, that will be the stable electronic configuration, and all the atoms have that tendency to attain the 8 electronic configuration in valence shell. This is called octet rule. But the exception is for helium. As for helium, there are 2 electrons in valence shell, and we know K shell is, so for helium K shell is the valence shell, and we know for K shell the maximum number of electron that can present, that is 2n square. Here n is equal to 1, so the maximum number of electrons that can present, that is 2. So when helium atom, they have 2 electrons in the outermost shell or K shell, then the electronic configuration will be stable. This is called duplet rule. But except helium, for the other elements, they have always tendency to accommodate 8 electrons. So this is the octet rule. So all the atoms have tendency to attain the 8 electronic configuration. If there are electrons in the valence shell greater than 8, so they have tendency to lose electrons. If their electron presence that is less than 8, then the atoms have tendency to gain electron. For example, for nitrogen atom there are 5 valence electrons. As this 5 number that is less than 8, so nitrogen atom has always tendency to gain 3 more electrons to attain the 8 electronic configuration. So nitrogen atom gains 3 electrons and then form 3 bonds with another nitrogen atom. Thus there will be formation of nitrogen molecule. So nitrogen atom cannot exist in atomic state, as there are 5 electrons, which is unstable configuration. So it will attain stable configuration by accepting 3 electrons. Whereas if we consider hydrogen, as there is 1 electron in the outermost shell for hydrogen, and according to duplet rule, at the K shell 2 electrons will be the stable configuration. So hydrogen can accept 1 electron, and it will accept 1 electron by the formation of one hydrogen-hydrogen bond, that is hydrogen molecule is formed. So hydrogen cannot exist in atomic state, it always exists in molecular state, that is hydrogen atom is unstable. Whereas if we consider helium, as there are 2 electrons in the K shell, so and this is the stable configuration according to duplet rule, so helium can exist in atomic state. helium can exist in monoatomic form as there are two electrons in the outermost shell, that is valence shell, and this electronic configuration is stable. So helium can exist in atomic form. And this helium is called noble gas, as this is a gas, so this is called noble gas or rare gas. Among all the elements, there are 6 noble gases or rare gases which have complete octet or duplet at their valence shell, so they are unreactive. That is, their chemical reactivity is very poor. They are very much stable. For example, helium atomic number is 2, so the 2 electrons present at the K shell. This is the stable configuration. Next here rare gas is neon. Atomic number is 10 and 10 electrons will be present and 2 electrons will go to the K shell and 8 electrons will go to the L shell. And you can see as at the valence shell there are 8 electrons, so this is the stable electronic configuration, so they are less reactive, almost unreactive. Argon has atomic number 18, so the 18 electrons will be distributed as 2 electrons in K shell, 8 electrons in L shell and 8 electrons in M shell. As we know, the maximum number of electrons that can be present in L shell is 8 from 2n square rule. Now for krypton, the atomic number is 36. So here will be 2 electrons in K shell, 8 electrons in L shell, and for M, as n is equal to 3, so for M 2n square is equal to 2 into 3 square, that means 18. So maximum 18 electrons can be present in M shell, so there will be 18 electrons and the rest 8 electrons will be present in the N shell. So for krypton, N is the valence shell and here are 8 electrons present, so according to octet rule this is stable configuration. Next rare gas is xenon. Atomic number is 54. Here the 2 electrons in K shell, 8 electrons in L shell, 18 electrons in M shell, and in N shell from 2n square rule, N shell can accommodate 2 into 4 square, that means 32 electrons. Maximum 32 electrons can be accommodated in N shell, but to give the stable octet, that is 8 electrons then will go to the valence shell. Here O is the valence shell, then 8 electrons jump from the N shell to the O shell. That is, first 8 electrons will occupy the O shell and then the rest 18 electrons will be present in the N shell. So here though N shell can accommodate 32 electrons, but to fulfill the octet rule 8 electrons will go to the O shell. As there in the valence shell 8 electrons, so this is stable configuration, this is rare gas or noble gas. The last one is radon. Atomic number is 86. So here 2 electrons in K shell, 8 electrons in L shell, 18 electrons in M shell, and as N shell can accommodate maximum 32 electrons, so 32 electrons in N shell. Then here valence shell is the P shell, so 8 electrons will go to the P shell, then the rest number of electrons you can calculate, that is 2 plus 8 10, 10 plus 18 28 plus 32 60 plus 8 68. So 86 minus 68, that means 18 electrons. So 18 electrons will be present at the O shell. Though here O shell that can accommodate maximum 2 into 5 square, that is 50 electrons, but here will be 18 electrons to fulfill the octet rule. So for all these 6 atoms, for all of them there are stable electronic configuration at the valence shell, so they are almost unreactive or very less reactive. They are called noble gases or rare gases. Except these 6 elements, all the other elements have either less than 8 electrons or greater than 8 electrons in the valence shell, that is unstable electronic configuration in the valence shell, so they have always tendency to form bond or to react. Now what is valency? Valency of an atom is the number of valence electrons of that atom that can take part in chemical reaction. For an atom, there are different number of valence electrons present in the valence shell, and the number of valence electrons that can take part in chemical reaction, that is called valency. For example, valence electrons if present is 1 valence electron is present, that is 1 electron is present in the outermost orbit, then this electron will be lost to get the stable configuration, because when 1 electron is present at the outermost orbit, then the next inner orbit there will be 8 electrons according to octet rule, and so this atom will lose this 1 electron to get the stable configuration, so this 1 electron will be lost. As here 1 electron is lost, that is this electron is taking part in chemical reaction, so the valency of that atom will be 1. When there are 2 electrons, 2 in the valence shell, then these 2 electrons will be lost to get the stable configuration, then valency of that atom will be 2. When there are 3 electrons in the valence shell, then these 3 electrons will be lost, then the valency of that atom will be 3. If there are 4 electrons in the valence shell, as this 4 is the very large number, so it is difficult to donate or accept all the 4 electrons to attain the 8 electronic configuration. So for this type of atoms, they share these 4 electrons. You will know later in the bonding part about this sharing. So these 4 electrons will be shared, and the atom thus can take part in chemical reaction. So here the 4 electrons, those are shared, that is those are taking part in chemical reaction, so these 4 electrons, so the valency will be 4. Now if there are valence electrons 5 present in the outermost shell, then the atom will accept another 3 electrons in the outermost shell to attain the noble gas configuration. 5 plus 3 will be 8. So here gaining of electrons, if so the valency will be 3. Here the valency depends on the number of electrons the atom accepting. If there are 6 electrons, then it will accept 2 electrons, the valency will be 2. If there are 7 electrons at the outermost shell, then it will accept 1 electron to get the 8 electronic configuration, so valency is 1. Now if there are 8 electrons present at the valence shell, that is the case for the noble gas or rare gases, then this is very stable configuration, then electrons cannot be donated or cannot be accepted, then the valency will be 0. So for noble gases the valency is 0, that is noble gases are unreactive. Now take an example, say NaCl molecule. We will see here the formation of NaCl molecule. Here two atoms are present, one is sodium atom, another is chlorine atom. For sodium atom, this is the atomic structure. Atomic number is 11 and mass number is 23. So there are 11 electrons for sodium. For chlorine, as the atomic number is 17, so there are 17 electrons. Now we consider the atomic structure of sodium. There are 11 proton and 12 neutron at the nucleus. At K shell there are 2 electrons. At L shell there will be 8 electrons, and at the M shell, this is the M shell, for M shell there is only 1 electron. So the electronic configuration is 281. As here at the valence shell there is 1 electron, so this valence electron will be lost to get the noble gas configuration or stable configuration according to octet rule. When this electron is lost, that is minus electron, here minus means this electron is lost, then the configuration will be in K shell there are 2 electrons, in L shell there are 8 electrons, and here the L shell will be the valence shell, and in valence shell there are 8 electrons. So this is the stable electronic configuration. Thus by losing 1 electron, the sodium atom will attain the stable electronic configuration, and this is the atomic structure for sodium plus monopositive ion, as 1 electron is lost here. Now if we consider the chlorine atom, the electronic configuration is 287, that is in K shell 2 electrons, in L shell 8 electrons, and in M shell there are 7 electrons. So to attain the stable electronic configuration, it will accept 1 electron in the M shell, that is at the valence shell, and accepting this 1 electron, then there will be 8 electrons in the M shell or in the valence shell. This is the stable configuration. So the configuration becomes 288, that is at valence shell 8 electrons present, and as here chlorine atom is accepting 1 electron, so there will be formation of monoanion, that is chloride. Now this sodium plus and chloride minus ion, there will be an attraction force between these two ions, and this attraction force bind together these two ions, then there will be formation of NaCl molecule, and this attraction force which bind these two ions, this is called bond. So there will be formation of NaCl molecule, and this bond held together the sodium and the chlorine atom. Thus there will be formation of molecule. So from the octet theory of valency or electronic theory of valency, the atoms which have unstable electronic configuration, they have always tendency to attain a stable electronic configuration through bond formation. Now chemical bond, so the attraction force between the atoms which can bind the atoms together, that is called attraction force. That is called chemical bond. For example, for the sodium chloride formation, the attraction force between sodium ion and chloride ion, that is the chemical bond in sodium chloride molecule. Now isotopes. If two or more than nuclei, they have the same atomic number but different mass number, they are called isotopes. Two or more nuclei, they have same atomic number but different mass number. As atomic number same, so proton number will be equal for the nuclei, electron number will be equal for the nuclei, and there will be only difference in their neutron number as mass number is different. As here number of electrons equal for different nuclei. So, and we know the chemical property is determined from valence electrons. So, valence electrons will be same for the nuclei. So, their chemical property will be same. So, isotopes will be always of same element as the atomic number is same, that is proton number and electron number same. So, isotopes will be for same element. For example, hydrogen has 3 isotopes. Why this is called protium, that is there is atomic number 1, mass number 1. Another one is deuterium, atomic number 1, mass number 2. Another one is tritium, atomic number 1 and mass number 3. So all of these has atomic number same, the only difference in their mass number, that is only difference in their neutron number. For protium, neutron 0, for deuterium neutron 1, for tritium there are 2 neutrons, and for them the mass number is different, so their atomic mass will be different, and this will lead to different physical properties of the isotopes. So isotopes have the same chemical properties, but they have different physical properties. For example, boiling point or density. For example, if we consider here, tritium has higher boiling point than protium, because tritium has higher atomic mass than protium. Another physical property is here radioactivity. Now carbon has 3 isotopes. Here for all of them atomic number is 6, mass number is 12, for another is 13 and for another is 14. So here the difference in their neutron number, proton electron number, whereas remains the same. Now among these isotopes, for hydrogen, the protium is the most occurred isotope in nature, that is this is mostly obtained in nature, whereas the percentage of the other 2 isotopes are very small. For carbon also, the carbon 12 isotope that has very high abundance, whereas for carbon 13, 14 the percentage of occurrence is very small. So for them atomic mass we can written as, for hydrogen atomic mass we can written as 1, for carbon the atomic mass we can written as 12, as the other 2 isotopes are present in very small amount in nature. Now another physical property is radioactivity. For tritium or C14 like nuclei, these nuclei have very large number of neutrons. Here 2 neutrons, here 8 neutrons. So these nuclei are very much unstable. So these nuclei undergo fission, or these nuclei break up into other nuclei. Here from carbon we get nitrogen nuclei, and there will be loss of different subatomic particles. Here electron is lost, and these subatomic particles will be emitted with very high amount of energy. This is energy, very high amount of energy, and this energy is emitted in the form of radiation. This is called radioactivity, and the isotopes are called radioisotopes. That is the decay of the spontaneous decay of the nucleus. So through radioactivity we get from one nuclei another nuclei, that is nuclei of another element, and this conversion is not possible through simple reactions. So radioactivity is another physical property. Now if we consider the isotopes of chlorine, chlorine has 2 isotopes, one is as mass number 35, another is mass number 37. For these 2 isotopes, though the abundance of chlorine 35 is larger than chlorine 37, but the abundance of chlorine 37 cannot be neglected. The abundance of chlorine 35 is 75%, whereas for chlorine 37 is 25%. So to determine the atomic mass of chlorine, we have to take average of these 2 atomic mass or mass number, and this average is obtained if we multiply the mass number with the abundance. So mass number of this isotope is 35 into its abundance 75%, that is 75 by 100, plus this isotope mass number 37 into abundance 25 by 100. So simplifying it, we get 35.5. This is the average atomic mass of chlorine. Thus average atomic mass of chlorine will be fraction. Similarly, to get accurate atomic mass of hydrogen and carbon, we have to take average in this way, but here as the other isotopes are present in very small amount, so we can neglect them. Now isobars. Isobar is the another property when two or more nuclei they have different atomic number but same mass number, they are called isobars. As they have different atomic numbers, so isobars will be of different elements. For example, for argon mass number is 40, for calcium mass number is 40. So mass number is same here, but the difference is in their atomic number, that is in their proton, electron and neutron number. So all the number of all the subatomic particles will be different for them. So these two are called isobars of one another. Similarly, chromium and iron mass number is 54 for both of them, whereas atomic number different 24, 26. So these are called isobars. So isobars have different physical properties as they are of different elements. Here argon, calcium, there are two different elements, so they have different physical properties as well as they have different chemical properties because they have different number of protons or different number of electrons. Thank you.